Cool. So, firstly, Toby, what I'd love you to do is just let the guys know where you're at now in business. So, I want to hear averagely how many PT sessions a week you're doing right now. And for context, it's March 2025 for anyone listening. And how many online clients you have, active online clients, roughly is fine.
Yeah, dude. So I'm doing about 10 hours max one-to-one coaching right now, which is great because last year I think my max was like 45 hours, I think, on the gym floor. So a lot more. It's just a little group of clients that I've still got. I still like coaching them, so it's not too bad. And then online right now, I've got 54 clients online. So that's pretty good within the space of not even a year, I think that is. So pretty on track with that.
Let's talk about where you were. So, if we kind of go back, you said about a year ago, it sounds to me, or even maybe the past 18 months, that I remember the first time you came to me, classic, busy, burnt out PT, and I think you were doing anywhere between like 30, 40, even 40
Yeah.
plus PT sessions a week. Where were you when you were at your busiest with PT, and then what impact was that having on your online growth?
Yeah, so good question, man. So I was burnt out, but also I wouldn't say because I feel like I speak to quite a lot of one-to-ones and it's almost like they hate what they're doing. I didn't hate it at all because I had really good clients. But again, I didn't even know there was another way, and that was the difference. I didn't know there was this other side of one being a lot more focused on your business and getting some time back for yourself as well. So yes, I was burnt out, but maybe I didn't even know it. But also it was to start my future family with my partner. I knew that I it would be not impossible, but it would be very hard for me to do 40, 30, 40 hours of PT, when you've got a kid there. And for me, it was really about finding another way to still have the same income and dramatically, up my income, but also have more time for me, myself, my partner, and obviously when we start a family. Because what's better than making more money than ever, and you've got more time in your pockets than ever, like absolute win-win. So yeah, I just knew there had to be kind of another way, and that's when I reached out to you, pretty much.
So with your content, let's start there. I think that when we first spoke, it was a lot more, your classic PT stuff, should we say, like the more generic exercise tips and obviously the core stuff that we still do and need to do. But your niche has very much taken a real change over the past year, I would say. So talk about where your content was at, and then let's talk about where it is now in terms of who you speak to at this time.
So yeah, so when I was one-to-one PT, and I think as well, just the and again, a lot of coaches that are listening would be able to realize this as well. Like content has changed as well, and trends change as well. And again, when I was in the gym, it was very much, let's say, in-gym content, how to do bicep curls, how to squat properly, basic nutrition stuff, which is all well and good. That helps, but all of my content was kind of gauged and was trying to aim itself towards people in my gym in Kingston upon Thames. So
Mm.
it was very kind of small and niche down. Yeah, and it was all right. You know, what I mean, I helped people, but it wasn't talking to that bigger picture, and it wasn't getting my personality or myself across at all. Um, so fast forward to now. So basically, I don't really like the word niche, but let's say the community and the people I speak to are people who are involved in Warhammer. So it's a very nerdy but very cool game where you kind of play the game, you paint the models, there's the lore, there's obviously the Xbox game out at the moment. So it's a massive thing. It's huge worldwide. It's a British company. So I've always been into that. And I always coached a few guys one-to-one. So it's kind of my niche without me even realizing it. I coached the manager from the Warhammer store in Kingston years ago. And from him, he referred me over the years, probably about 10 different people who were all into Warhammer. Like, oh, there's this gym dude that I'd like to think it looks in shape and he plays Warhammer. That's different. So then online, obviously, we started working together. And then naturally, I just started getting more of that content out. And now it's grown into this community that I've built. And all of my online clients now, they're all guys into Warhammer. And it loads of guys in the US and the UK. And again, I think there's something I've really learned something there is to share your interests to kind of like open up and obviously try and have that analogy with that thing with health and fitness, but also just post like me. I just post some Warhammer photos and videos. And now I'm linked to like massive people in that industry, like OG YouTubers in Warhammer who message me and we like each other's content and they comment and a lot of them message me saying let's get sessions in or let's meet up for a game and that's amazing. So it's really opened something else up for me now.
Why do you think that there's so many fitness coaches listening to this that hear about being more open, sharing more personal stuff, being willing to niche down? Like, why do you think they're so afraid? Like, I spoke to a guy yesterday in the program, and he's like, "Oh, but Dan, I've got female clients in the gym." And I said, "Cool. Well, when I look at your Instagram, I don't see you talking about the menstrual cycle. I don't see you sharing glute workouts. I don't see you talking about being pre or post pregnant. So if you want to work with women, like, are you going to start doing that? Because those are important topics you're not covering. So why do you think that so many PTs, they probably deep down know who they should be working with, but why do you think they just don't post about that stuff and they don't share it openly?"
Yeah, I think there's a few things there to unpick. I think, firstly, I think you've got to get your head around maybe targeting a smaller pond, let's say, is better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You catch more fish, maybe. Let's put that analogy in there because you can talk and target that exact audience. And also on the other side of it, when they're viewing it, like one of my ads that I've been running, it's just doing the absolute works for me, is a Warhammer one where I'm painting a Warhammer model and talking about analogy about painting your first Warhammer to taking you going into the gym and having your first gym session. And again, those people see that and they think, oh, that's me. And wow, he likes what I like too. So I think people are maybe scared of niching down because they think they're going to make less money and they want to just appeal to everybody. And no business works like that, really. It's not what it's about. You have got to speak to a certain group of people. I think that. And I think, secondly, as well, it's just like being vulnerable in yourself. And I think it takes a long time because I've been posting on Instagram now for I don't know, maybe 6 years, maybe 7 years. So like that is a process and a journey itself. And I think you've got to be vulnerable and you can't really care about being vulnerable and being yourself. Because I think a lot of people like to put on, we all do it in a way, a slight of an act or a character as such. But I think as soon as you can start bringing that barrier down and look, it's a process, the better your content will be and the more people resonate with it. And I don't know if you ever have this, like one thing that really showed me and like recently why my content's getting better and it's more true to my own voice is that my friends start commenting on stuff now. My friends would always not ignore, but yeah, they're in different. They're my best mates, but most of them don't even train. Like this is just my job. They wouldn't comment, they wouldn't share, they wouldn't do anything. But now they're leaving comments like, "Oh mate, that's so joke," or "We love." They're messaging me saying, "I love that video you done," because I'm being myself. They can see me in those videos and the friend that I am to them. So I think that's really important as well. But be a bit vulnerable and have fun with it. Have fun with it. Like don't care too much. Just go for it.
Do you think that there's a case for now that you've found your people? Because it sounds like like you said, it's not less of a niche, more of like a community. In terms of the way that you tap into the way they're thinking, and because you understand how they think, and like you said, if it's respectfully a more of a nerdy or a geekier kind of hobby, how does that then translate into like your lead generation and then your sales? Have you noticed anything that you do you connect better or differently with people on the sales calls because you have this hobby in common, this other common thing?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And look, that's what's arguably led to my growth and me making more money. 100%. I think I've always been quite good at that because I have been a one-to-one coach for so long, and you'll probably know this as well. Your job for that hour when you're with them is just trying, and I am very interested in just in people in general, is to try and connect on some sort of level as kind of quick as you can. That therefore can make you a better coach. But I think the same thing goes with online as well, which a lot of people miss. So before on the start of a sales call, I'll just talk about Warhammer. Like, oh, so what you working on at the moment? Oh, okay, you working on this. Oh, you've seen that new release recently, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll make a joke out of it and be like, look, that's not why we're here today. I'm sure, like you, I can talk about Warhammer for hours and we'll get on to that, but let's get into the sales call or the call. So again, so they think, oh, wow, he's like me. And I think people relax as well, because I think we often forget that some people might be quite nervous on those sales calls, talking to and a lot of my guys from the USA. talking to this random bloke in America, keeps on saying mate all the time. Like, what is this? But if you talk about Warhammer, I think, oh, right, he's real. He's not this robotic trainer, and he's just like me. And again, in the hobby as well, not everyone, because there is the stereotype there, but obviously it's not always stereotyped. But it's quite an unhealthy demographic, kind of a lot of mental health, body dysmorphia, whatever it may be. So again, I haven't myself personally struggled with those things, but with working with hundreds of people who do, we can talk about those issues as well. And I can use my clients who are in the same hobby, the same community as kind of case studies as well, which also really, really helps.
I like what you said there because it means that people are listening, because obviously we have a lot of personal trainers listening who either they're qualified and they work in a 9 to 5 and they hate it and maybe they want to go online, or maybe they're busy PTs like we were and we wanted to start having a family. Obviously, I now have a family, and I'm sure that's on the cards for you in the future, at least, the plan. Um, when you get on a call with someone, it's picking something that you have a common ground with, and you're saying bringing that up at the start of the call has made it easier for you to transition into getting them to open up on the sales call, right?
100%.
So it could be like, if I got on a call with a parent talking about their kids at the beginning, or if you got on a call with someone that happened to live in Kingston, again, there's that kind of common interest. The sooner you bring that up on the sales call, how do you then find though transitioning into having more of like an authority and then being able to speak to them directly and kind of lay down the law? Like, do you ever have to manage that, and is that ever difficult once you kind of you're kind of dancing between like being a friend and also being authoritative? Like, how have you managed to find that balance with your clients?
Yeah, good so far. I don't, and again, look, that's the difference between one-to-one and online. Obviously, you're still coaching, but there is differences there, 100%. Um, yeah, and I think the systems we've got here, like I never really have to be too lay my foot down,
Yeah.
put my foot down, let's say. But if I do, and just naturally who I am, I always do it with quite, a smile on my face and try and make it a bit jokey as well, or even refer back to kind of Warhammer stuff and analogies. But I think ultimately, I don't know, I've had this in the past with managers and stuff like that. I think if you respect that person, I don't think you really stray too far anyway. If you have that common ground with that person, look, sometimes I've got to tell them on check-ins that that's not that you haven't done well enough this week, and sometimes you've got to put your foot down slightly. But I would hope from all the other things and me being somewhat their friend in a professional way, and they're a part of the community, they respect it. So when I do have to do that, it's no problem at all. But look, no one really steps out of line too much, so they get on with it. So yeah, that's worked well going forward.
Let's talk about pricing. So, how has your pricing changed over the years? Can you go back to, do you remember what was the price point of the first ever online program you sold? And then where are your price points at now?
Yeah, so my first one, I was just doing it for whatever, really, mate. Like 50 quid, I think my cheapest was. Like 50 quid a month. I think one person even did that for like 25 or something for, well, there were a couple. So I was like, look, if you both pay 25, then 50.
Yeah.
And just still providing like a good, obviously the community wasn't there and these weren't people in the hobby. And obviously a lot has changed now. But the coaching was still there because I've been a coach for a long time. So that was no different. So they were getting an absolute bargain, mate. So now pricing's changed. So obviously 12 months, 6 month, and 3 month, and then the monthly rolling. So yeah, if someone's going on for 2 months, it's pretty much 2 grand, just under 2 grand for the 12 months, sorry. Um, and then 6 months, 1,002, and then 3 months, 799. So yeah, it's a big jump up, and I'm thinking probably next month I might even increase my prices. And look, I think it's about valuing yourself so much more as well, and that's the game changer. And yeah, it should be a lot. It should be an investment because this stuff's important. It changes lives. Like that saying, like you should always have a gasp after you say the price.
Mm.
Um, like, oh, that's expensive. Yeah, it is, but we change lives here, and I think you've got to back yourself on that. If not, you're probably not going to sell anything.
Have you found that charging more has correlated with clients who are more invested? And you often hear people like me saying, and I do stand by this, so I'd love to hear your opinion. Um, People that typically pay more attention. But what's been your experience with that?
Yeah,
Especially now you're selling, your first programs are at 50 quid a month and then you're selling something for 2 grand for the year. What's been your experience with that?
100%. I would agree fully. And again, like what I really like as well on a call, when the client knows that straight off the bat as well, and they go for the, or you have to remind them, like in a good sales call, you need to remind them that this is an investment and you are going to be dedicated and you are going to be on the program and you're going to get what you pay for ultimately. And yeah, you get such better buying, bro, such better. Um,
Mm.
and again, that and the difference between monthlies, that monthlies are all fine and we've all got to sell some monthlies. Um, but there's a direct correlation. I'll say my clients are on the 6th or the 12th. I think the 6th is a really good time frame as well. But the 6th and the 12th, yeah, that they get far better results. So they've invested nearly 2 grand. Some people don't even really have this money and they're investing it. So you better get to work and get every penny out of this, or dollar or cent, should I say. So yeah, there's definitely a correlation between that.
Let's talk about ads. So I know that um, we obviously run ads here
Mhm.
inside FBC. We run them together. And I feel like maybe you had dabbled previously, but you definitely weren't running them like you are now when we first kind of started the mentorship. So, what was your previous feelings towards ads for the guys listening who are shit scared of most people like they hear ads and they run the other way? And there's a lot of like for some reason negative kind of feelings around ads. Sometimes people are even like really proud. They're like, "Oh, I don't run ads," as if they're like proud that they don't when I don't know anyone that's absolutely killing it, making multiple six figures, seven plus, that isn't running ads. So, what's your feeling? What was your feeling towards ads, and what's your feeling towards ads now?
Yeah, cool. So ads back in the day, I think I kind of like dabbled on a couple here and there, but it was like £1 a day. Like, that's not really going to get you anywhere, really. It was just wasting my own money, and I don't even know what they were on, just to try and get a few followers or a few more likes on your posts. Like that was everything back then. Um, so yeah, so I never really thought about it though too much before I started with you. I knew people ran them, but until you, and again, like you always say to us, and which you see now, once you start running ads, you understand how all of these guys are doing it out there. Majority of them anyway, unless like you're James Smiths, and like, even he's running ads now, and you've hit a gold mine and you're just that person. Yeah, you can do it organically, but that is like, that's not even the 1%, I would say, arguably. But yeah, once
Unless you're famous, or
yeah,
you've come out of Love Island and you suddenly got
yeah,
famous,
exactly.
or
You were there
yeah,
at the right time.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's not happened. So now when you start running ads yourself, you realize all of these guys out there smashing like, oh, that's how they do it. You realize every single post is an ad, and they're pumping thousands, if not hundreds of thousands into these ads. And you're like, oh, that's how they've got that many followers. That's how they're getting that much money in and all these results. So you've got to run ads. Like if you're serious, I think look, at the same time there is, and you preach this as well, you there is an argument about not doing it too early because I think there is an argument about like nurturing, depending on what ad you're running. Like with me, for instance, my Warhammer slash fitness ad, they see the ad, it's in their face, and I sign a lot of people, and they say, "Oh, you've often come up on my feed, and they've only followed me now, but they're probably following me now because they've actually checked out my page. I've got a nice little catchy bio saying who I train. They look at it, oh, that's me, and then there's a few different posts of me with some Warhammer. They see that some of these big dudes in the industry follow me. That gives them more security. Oh wow, he must be an authority figure if I mean, this guy called Mini War Gamer Dave, like an OG with millions of followers. He follows me. Oh wow. And then they follow, then you get on the convo with them. And look, all those big people as well, who I'm mentioning, who have authority in big pages, they wouldn't be following me if it wasn't for that one ad that I've been running for pretty much the year as well. So yeah, ads were an absolute game changer. I would not have the amount of clients I've got if it wasn't for the ads. Or like you could, but it'll be a whole lot harder work. I'll be having to constantly be nurturing on Instagram myself, and the ad just kind of does it for you, if I'm honest. So yeah, get on the ads.
what is the next evolution of the business? And like for anyone listening, obviously you said you're still doing some PT. Obviously you know how I feel about you doing still doing PT.
Yeah.
Um, what is, let's say, this time next year? Where would you like to be in another 12 months from now? And so we can get you to be held accountable and also talk about your future plans. Like, where would you want to be if we were having this conversation this time next year?
Yeah. So firstly, I like to be in my own little home office because I'm in the gym office right now.
Yeah.
Not good, but yeah, but have a nice office. That's a start. But I would like 200 online clients this time next year, even three. Like the rate we're going with, it's definitely achievable. But at the same time, I definitely need to kind of recruit and build a team, um, which currently I don't have, which would definitely help. And again, for me as well, it's not just because it helps me, it's also it builds this community and something special I'm doing within this Warhammer kind of nerdy community to just build that and make that even stronger and more of a powerful kind of entity and a powerful thing as well. So to get coaches on board who also do what I do and they're in the hobby as well, that'd be absolutely amazing. And yeah, just get out there, help more people. Um, I'd like to do some like events as well. I think that'd be amazing. Again, the Warhammer slash kind of fitness stuff. Loads more client socials. Like we've done loads of Warhammer kind of client socials. We've had like painting competitions and we got some like Toby Pink Fitness awards done and stuff like that, which was really fun. Played a few games. So yeah, I just more and impact more and ultimately like get the results because that's what it's about as well. Change more lives.
You've mentioned the in-person events a little bit there.
Mhm.
Um, what is it about those that you think has been impactful for the business? Because again, that's something people see that we do, as in inside our mentorship and other fitness programs, and they probably like, oh, like I'll do it when I get to X level. Um, what is it? What has it been for you? Like, what has it changed about the business, do you think?
Yeah, so it's been a game changer, if I'm honest, because like just like the nuts and bolts of it, and I'm sure some people listening can agree with this, especially online, well, only on online coaching, sometimes you don't even know what that client may look like. If you've got a crappy client and they're not really they may still be getting the results, but they're not really checking in. Maybe their profile picture is it's their dog or something. They're not very active in your client group. It's really hard for you to connect with that person and be a good coach if you don't even know who they are. So again, if you can, like with all my Warhammer dudes, I met them in person. It's an absolute game changer. And just as a coach, when I can see someone who's dropped 20 kilos, it was weird. Like in my client, when I patted him on the back, I was like, wow, like just feeling his back, I was like, mate, you're looking absolutely ripped. And that gets me hyped as a coach. And then that makes me realize like this is why I love what I'm doing. Just seeing kind of not what you've created, that sounds a bit crazy, but yeah, the thing with you and them that you're trying to achieve, and you can see it with your own eyes. I think that's really important. Obviously, all of the meeting as well, that's really important to show that they're part of a community. And since that meetup, my community group on WhatsApp just pops off now like every day. Fitness stuff, wins, what they're struggling with, and also Warhammer stuff, obviously, as you can imagine. So that's been an absolute game changer. And also it's great for the socials as well. That you can say, look, we all met up and you've got a photo of 30 dudes or whoever you train there. Like that shows you have a authority and you have got something more than just a handful of clients. But look, even if you are a one-to-one coach online and you've only got 5 clients, still go out for a social, still meet them. Because even if you've got 50 clients, only 10 may show up anyway. It's not like 50 people can always make it, but it doesn't matter. And it helps them because you can get your personality out as well, which I think is just as important as you getting their personality and getting to know them. They've got to get to know you too, which is really important.
Last two questions. One would just be, um, what would you say to someone in your position where you were before about, um, and this isn't a plug for working with me, this is just a plug for mentorship generally. What do you think is the impact of getting a mentor or being part of a mentorship? Like, what has it been for you? Because I obviously have invested a lot of time and money myself into mentorship. So have you, some good ones, some bad ones, some average ones. And I don't think I would be, doing this if I hadn't done that. I think you would probably say the same. What would you say to a personal trainer who is thinking about getting help with their business, but they're afraid to kind of take that next step? Like what's typically your advice around mentorship?
Yeah, like I say to everyone, like even the gym that I work in now, when people are struggling, and yeah, I'm just like, get some help. You got to get some help. If that can be someone who's maybe just started there their fitness mentorship journey as well. Because if you're not quite there, well, you're still going to get a lot of help from someone. And again, myself as well. Like I've, as you know, like I've had quite a few mentors and kind of help along the way. And like you said, some good, some bad. But I think even from the bad ones, you can still look back and you can still pick things up, which actually can be worth a whole lot of money. It's not just those one little things. But the thing for me is just accountability. And for me, you know me, like love the coaching, but as we say, I hate the unsexy stuff. And like you, with someone you can just be like, bro, let's get on a call. I'm stressing about putting numbers into a spreadsheet and losing it. And you're like, dude, let's just do it together. Let's just jump on a call and you just take my screen and you do it. Like so then I can see you do it and I can learn from that. Like that's everything for me because they're the things that stress me out and they're the things that impact me and my work. So have something you can do that and just literally show me the ins and outs of how to do something is an absolute game changer. The back end of things and just the accountability, man. Like the accountability is everything. Like how we give our clients, we've got to have that as well. I think we really have. And just someone like if you've had a bad day and you're stressed, just someone to drop a voice note as well really helps. And look, and then the big things as well, like ads. Like you've shown me how to do ads, how they work, kind of helping me niche down. And that is the one thing that's grown my business this year. Like you can't argue that. So yeah, you got to do it 100%. You got to do it.
Where can people go and find you? And I want the guys to go and look at what a good example of a dialed in Instagram looks like, and just in terms of your content as well, the way that you speak to your audience. What's your Instagram so the guys can go and shoot you a
Yeah,
follow?
man. Thanks, for that, bro. Yeah, so Toby Pink Fitness on Instagram. So go have a look there. Like some stuff, reshare. It helps me out. I'll follow back as well. Don't worry. Yeah, so Toby Pink Fitness.
Cool. So I'll end it there, and I really appreciate you doing this. The one thing I'd say to anyone listening about Toby is that I think throughout the reason why you've been so successful, and I know you will continue to be, is because you really do genuinely give a shit about your clients and your service and your reputation. And of course, that can bring its own challenges when it comes to, when it's troubles around money or getting people to pay or even just worrying about how things might come across. But I think it's also your superpower as well that you actually really do give a shit about the people that you work with. And as much as we talk a lot about sales and lead generation, retention is obviously massive. And the fact that your business continues to grow is because you actually really give a shit and deliver a good service. So, for anyone listening, you can go check out Toby on Instagram if you want to learn more about working with me or the other guys and girls inside the program. Just message me the word info on Instagram at Fitness Business Coaching, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode.